Limerick City, a place of huge cultural vibrance and many colourful characters, is currently home to an interesting music scene, from experienced adult bands to promising teenage bands.
I've decided to get closer to the scene and see what it means to the musicians, the fans, and overall what it means to the people of the city.
Just for a moment, just one.
For the most illustrious scene in Limerick at the minute appears to be the punk scene. Wild, unrefined, raw, and extremely lucrative, it seems to draw more and more young musicians every year. Almost every band out at the minute draws from the scrappy and rough aesthetics and musical composition of the punk rock movement. However, in a sea of bands all competing, one band is the undisputable leader of the movement, that band being the well-loved 50-Foot Woman.
So I decided to come to a 50-Foot Woman show to see how the crowd interact with people and how the band play live, as it's a huge part of their sound. They're considered the definitive live act in Limerick, so I've decided to see what it's all about.
Make punk music.
Yeah, they're looking to me for that one. I guess when we started out, it wasn't necessarily that it was punk rock or whatever you want to call it. I suppose it's like, it's that, it's a, yeah, it's that's a really hard question. I guess it's
Me, Hazel, and Amy don't listen to punk.
I guess it's because it's the most fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cracked, like.
It's and it's definitely my favorite. It's the best kind of music. Because this country has a great punk scene, like from all the way up to all the way down. There's just great punk bands, and they're all like, underrated outside of this country. I think so. Yeah, I think there's great punk rock in Ireland.
What do you have to say this?
I really like it because I kind of tend to save up any like issues that I have in my life, and then we have like a gig or band practice, and then I just shout them all out, and it's very handy. It's nice, therapeutic.
Yeah, playing punk drums is very de-stressing.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
it's stressful.
It's way more fun than any other genre of drums, actually.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
How did you discover punk, and when did you know it was what you wanted to make?
I mean, I was always that kid who was like trying to be edgy and like, oh yeah, I listen to old music, and then I realized old music is terrible, and that's a cringe phase. But I actually have loved punk ever since then, and like I suppose kind of getting deeper into it after getting into Velvet Underground and the Stooges, and getting into more hardcore stuff like Subhumans later on, and then like more recent stuff like just random hardcore like Piss Jeans and like that kind of thing. It's just it's
Sector.
and Title Fight and that.
Front sector.
It's just like Front Sector as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just that I found the love and the fun, the kind of passion for hardcore and for punk basically. So that's why I love punk anyway.
I mean, like a lot of people, the Ramones were my first punk band, and it was my dad who was, he was a punk back in the day, and he listens to all sorts of music, but I guess I gravitated towards the kind of maybe aggression of punk, but then also it's quite melodic. Good punk rock is aggressive, melodic, and I guess I was maybe 10 finding the Ramones and the Sex Pistols from my dad, but then when I was a little bit older, I was finding bands like Cross and Black Flag on my own. Who?
Liquid.
Yeah, oh, classic.
Oh, dude. I love it.
But
Seriously.
I suppose like what I thought was punk was like that local scene and the togetherness. So I rooted out for Irish bands like The Turn,
Audible Joes.
Audible Joes, my favorite, love Audible Joes, and Nils, of course, like one of my favorite bands ever. And then as we were coming up, finding other bands starting out at the same time as us, like RPC and
Parker,
Parker, yeah.
Cutie.
Vacuity who formed at the same time as us, and go further. I'll just name drop all the great Irish punk bands because we such a great scene in this country. Yeah.
I'd like to give to you with the story, the song, the saga, Barry Doyle.
Do you feel like playing live gives you a connection with your audience?
Yeah, in a way, like it's kind of. I don't really think you can really like. Our music is best taken live. I think personally, like
We're a live band too.
and not in like Lamb Shabbos Youth Centre.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that there's no venues in Limerick that are like truly all ages that you can really experience.
No,
punk
right now.
show. And it's pretty ridiculous because there is such a scene of people who just love music in this county, the city, especially in the was like pharmacy and record room are brilliant venues. But I mean, unless you're in college, you're kind of there's no place for you really. Like so, but I do think that we have a good live set. I often don't know when to be quiet on stage, but I mean, I think we give it good energy, and it's like I suppose. When you kind of get off stage, you know that the audience has been happy, and you know that you all came together to just make this like really like blisteringly phenomenal half hour of music. Like then, I mean,
Yeah,
it's pretty good to be honest.
I think 54 Women are a live band more than anything, and as great as it is to have a record and go, oh wow, it sounds great, and put all these things onto it. I think the joy of us and to truly capture punk is life. I think,
Yeah, I think like my favorite part about being in a band is when we're like, it's happened maybe like 3 times, but when we're like on stage and someone's singing the song back to me, it's like, it's incredible. It's like, I can't describe it. It's just so like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah,
It's that like connection.
and I think what makes a really really great show is not usually the band. It's typically the audience. I think we've played to rooms that are packed and just no one does anything.
But yes, like Nancy by Fifth Form and yours. Oh yeah. Poggers, man. What's it?
So that was 50 Foot. They just got finished playing. Really, really just amazing performers, to be honest. Just a personal recollection. I saw these guys like just practice in Music Gen. They just asked me to come in, and I just kind of stood there like mesmerized for like 10 minutes, man. They're really, really great performers. I think they're going to be really successful.
Veering into odd territory between punk, metal, and many other sounds, the band that has captivated the young music fans of the city even more in the past couple of years has been Vacuity. Throughout the last year, Vacuity became a powerhouse in the Limerick music scene. At the forefront of the band was Seth Collins and Ben Young. Sharing duties on bass, guitar, and vocals, they captured fans unlike any other band I have seen.
What was it that inspired you to get involved in the Limerick music scene, and how did you get involved in it?
Hello, I'm Seth, and I know we look alike, so I thought I'd clarify that. As far as what inspired us to get in, I think there's probably a very common answer, but Music Generation were a great help with inspiring us. I had been getting bass lessons with the lads for years before I started going to these summer sessions, where I then became friends with the guys from 50 Foot Women, and then met the lads from my own band there. And it kind of got started from there. So we all owe it to Music Generation as well.
Who would you cite as some musical influences?
In general, or for the band?
Just both, really.
I think we took a lot of influence from this one band from Limerick called Casavets, who are sadly no longer with us, but they have an album out that's really, really good. but I'd say big influences would be themselves, and then American bands like Title Fight and Narrowhead were very influential for our sound, as well as a very small bit of Deftones. But personally, I do my own acoustic music, and I like Rob Scallon a lot and his own like emo side projects for my own influences.
What is it that you think got Viculi to the level of success that they did?
I think at the time when we kind of first came onto the scene of like October 2021, it was really ourselves and 50 Woman were like the only real Limerick teenage bands going on. And we were a bit different from each other, where 50 Woman were very more punk, and then we were a bit more emo-y, I suppose you could say. But something that really helped us get to where we were was just when the COVID restrictions lifted, we just played gig after gig after gig. We played maybe like 3 gigs in 2 weeks in March, and then over the summer we did at least one a week. It was really tiring, but I think that definitely did help put us to where we were for that short amount of time.
What does Vicuity's connection to their fans mean to you?
The connection that we had to our fans are a very funny word, because a lot of the people who came to our show were like just our friends, and I think that's what really did help that connection. When we'd be on stage and between songs, we could just hear our own friends chatting and laughing. I think something that was very impactful was we did a headline show for Culture Night in September where we played to a crowd of like maybe just over 300 people, and we played our debut single Freeze, and that's a song that's always been very emotional for me, and it's always been hard to get through playing live. But I remember when I opened my mouth to sing the first line, I could feel my own voice getting a bit shaky from it. But there was a sea of people singing those words back to me, and a lot of these people were close friends of mine who I thought, that's really sweet that people very close to me would know the words to something that was very impactful for me. But a lot of people who were singing those words off by heart were people I'd never met before, and people who I didn't know. And it was just, it's captivating playing gigs in all over town, or sometimes not even in your own county, where you're going to be able to hear people singing your own words back to you. It's really captivating.
I was at that actually, and it was genuinely a great gig. You could definitely tell there was a great connection between you and your fans.